Hola, welcome to Basics Simplified. Today we are going to be looking at a very important topic, that is inflation. It is so important because it would affect your day-to-day life as well as the whole country in itself. Okay, so what is inflation? Inflation stands for an increase in the general level of prices of goods and services over a constant period of time. Let's split the definition. Increase. So inflation talks about the increase in the prices of anything that you buy. Okay. General level of goods and services. It doesn't talk about the one thing, it talks about most things. So if you're gonna think of inflation and think, oh, my phone went up in price, it's just not your phone. You have to think about your phone, the appliances, your food, everything. It combines all of it together. That's inflation. Not one, but a group of stuff. Okay. And the last part, constant period of time. If the increase in price happens today or tomorrow or within a few days, that is not inflation. It is a week, a month, something. It's constantly happening. Going up and down is not inflation. Okay. So let's look at it with an example. So it's pretty simple to understand. So assume 2 years, 2010 and 2012, and you spend 500 rupees a month on fruits alone. Okay, so let's see what you can buy with the 500. In 2010, you will be getting a kilogram of apple for 150 rupees, a kilogram of banana for 50 rupees, a kilogram of strawberry for 200 rupees, and you could say a kilogram of grapes for 100 rupees. Okay, 200, 300, 400, 500. So you are spending a total of 500 rupees. Clear? This is what you spend the 500 rupees to get per month. Now assume you are still running with the same budget. Okay, and in 2012 you are trying to buy the same stuff. So in 2012 you go to the shop, you ask for apple, what is 1 kilogram of apple, and he says 1 kilogram is 300 rupees. So what do? I have to stick to my guns. So you get half kilogram of apple for 150. You ask how much is a kilogram of banana, he says 100 rupees. Okay, I buy half kg of banana, 50 rupees. What about strawberries? It's 400 rupees per kilogram, sir. So no, I just stick with half kg of strawberries, and that would be 200. What about grapes? Sir, it's 400 rupees per kilo. You are buying it for 100 rupees now, it's now 400 rupees per kilo. I'm like, it's fine. I'll go with 250 grams. So you get 250 grams of grapes for 100 rupees. So how much did you spend at the end? The same 500. You went with a budget. You have been running this budget for years now, and in 2012 you are like, I'm spending the same 500 rupees, yet I'm getting barely half the quantity I used to get. That is inflation. What was the definition I told you? Increase in the general level of prices of goods and services over a constant period of time. Increase. Everything has gotten costlier. Everything has increased in price. Check. General level of price of goods and services. Is it just apple that increased? No. Just grapes, just banana, just strawberry? No. Most of it has increased. Okay. So that also check. Constant period of time. This wasn't on, you bought this on 2010 January 1, and this is not January 2. This is 2010, this is 2012. Constant period of time. It has taken some time to happen. Okay. Checks all the boxes. This is your inflation. So anytime you have paid the same money but gotten lesser products because the product has gone up in value, it's inflation. So what does it mean for you? For an end user, when inflation happens, it means that prices have gone up. Everything has gotten costlier. What does prices going up mean? Value of money has gone down. Earlier, 150 rupees worth of money you had could buy you a kilogram of apple. Now, the same 150 rupees of money you have can only buy you half a kilogram of apple. The value of money has diminished. What does value of money diminishing mean? It means purchasing power has diminished. At the end of the day, a common man's purchasing power has gone down. That is what inflation makes happen. The more the inflation, the lesser your purchasing power. You are buying, you could say, a Dell laptop, 20,000 rupees. The same model, due to inflation, is now 50,000 rupees. Would you be able to buy? No. That's it. You are losing your purchasing power the higher the inflation goes. Okay. Now, we know what inflation is, how it happens, and what. We know what inflation is and how it affects us. How does it happen? What causes it to happen? So, for any market, there is two components. There is supply, there is demand. Right? You need supply, you need demand. Without supply, without demand, nothing happens. Okay? Now, similarly, for inflation, it can be caused by either supply side factors or demand side factors. The supply side factors is called cost push inflation, whereas the demand side factors is called demand pull inflation. Now, you'll be thinking, they use the word demand here, why do they use the word supply there? It's pretty simple. What does it say? Cost push. So, to create a supply, what do you need? You need to create the product. For that, you need to have cost of production, you need to have the factors of production and everything. Okay. When the cost of production goes up, you have cost push inflation. Okay. Or to put it pretty simple, your supplies cost goes up, your demand remains constant. Okay. So a farmer needed to spend, you could say, for every kilogram of apple, he has to spend 60 rupees in cost of production. Okay, so he needs to get back that 60 rupees plus anything more than that is profit. When that 60 rupees of cost of production becomes 90 rupees, he's going to charge more for a kilogram of apple. So here, it took him 60 rupees to produce this 1 kilogram of apple. Here, a kilogram of apple is, since this is half, a kilogram of apple is 300. Here, it took him 120 rupees to produce that. The cost of production went up, the price of the product goes up. Pretty simple. Okay. So, what causes a cost push inflation? Like I said, cost of production going up. For that to happen, it can be anything from disasters, costlier loans, government cancelling subsidies, anything else. So whatever the farmers were getting, it went down, or there was a disaster happening, or there was a drought, or whatever. So anything that pushes the cost of supply up, okay, that leads to cost push inflation. How about demand pull inflation? So just like the word says, when demand increases, it causes demand pull inflation. So your supply remains constant, whereas your demand has gone up. Okay. So in this situation, you have demand pull inflation. How does it occur? Pretty simple. The government has reduced your direct taxes. Okay. So you could say reduction in taxes. You are spending 10,000, you are paying 10,000 rupees in tax. Now the government has reduced it, you are paying 5,000 rupees in tax. What is that is left with you? You have another 5,000 rupees in hand that you can spend, which means you're going to buy more stuff. Reduction in tax leads to increase in demand. What else? Government spending. Government has to be doing more government spending, more investment projects, more ports, bridges, etc. They are pumping more money into the economy. Where does that money go? People are working on the projects, people are getting salaries, right? Which means they are getting more money. They have more money to spend, So all of these would cause demand pull inflation. So in demand pull inflation, supply remains constant, demand is increased because of these factors. In cost push inflation, demand remains constant, supply becomes costlier or decreases, okay, because of these factors. So because of a disaster, if you have supply going down, that also is going to cause inflation. It's pretty simple. It's intrinsic. That's why I say pretty much out loud. So with all of this, I hope it's pretty clear what inflation is, and you would have a pretty good idea of what it is. Okay, thank you.